that says Canva Arts and Crafts.
I figured they wanted grant on this.
Yeah.
one.
I put grant.
Was it morning time? It wasn't.
It just said free. It didn't
Yeah.
have a time.
There wasn't one that said afternoon though.
Well, I didn't look closely enough to.
Okay.
So this is Canva.
Yes.
Great.
Yep. It is supported by a grant,
Yeah,
so.
I knew that, so that's why I.
A lot of our other classes, like the things on this first page on that publication newsletter here, are always things that happen.
I made it a
What
whole.
technology class do you take to get relaxed and de-stressed?
Yeah, I don't know who that would be, but.
What does it say?
It's not me.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, strains. That's what's fun about this program though, is it can just be creative. It doesn't have to be all work, you know. Thank you.
I have an agenda, so.
You have an agenda, good. Goals and plans.
If we finish early, I'll scoot out so you'll know where I'll be over there if you need to, and I'll stay for whatever you need to.
Okay.
Because you already did this, didn't you, Lois?
No, I'm thinking,
She took a light version of this
oh,
class.
yeah, just, I was late getting into it, I just saw a little bit of it, so. Yeah, I just saw some of the things it can do, but no, I've taken other courses, no, I haven't, I just learned other software, this one I'm not
I'm
familiar with.
not good. It wouldn't make any difference if I had another software. I just.
I think it might be a stumbling block to actually have another one, because, you
I mean,
know,
the only thing I know
maybe.
is Word documents and Excel, sort of, not even really all that well, but
Yeah.
I did a little book for my sister with something that they had available through the Walgreens.
Oh.
And I transferred pictures to create a calendar for her.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I've done. It's pretty.
This is, yeah, I like this program because you'll probably find ideas and projects to work on, you know, after taking this. You can insert your own pictures easily. Unlike a Word document, you know,
There it
things
is.
are. Oh, hi.
Hey, Margaret.
She made it up.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yours
flew
too?
up.
I can take that if
Yeah,
you
well,
want.
I'm pushing you. They have
I'm glad you made it.
I keep looking at my books I made and thinking, I need to sit and write. I need to just start coming up on Monday.
And if you'd like to put you can put
send
your last name and put first name for the most part.
Yeah, please do.
It's I wrote a short story. And
Fill out that information because
Same story.
I'll be emailing out invitations
Oh, okay.
for.
So if you're interested, I will send
I am interested.
Yeah. Okay. This will probably go to Trey too, so he can help keep track
I don't know if I can find
of
anything,
people.
but I'm hoping to get out of this class as a produce work, so. I don't know.
Yeah. You've done a lot of legwork too, because you know you have.
do you want us to?
Plenty of content
sell
already.
rather than the landline? Or is that me?
Whatever's easy. Cells are good because I can text you that way.
But you already have my stuff.
I have yours. Lois, I don't know that you're much on the phone. I text you once in a while.
Is there a place on that page to put your cell phone?
Yep.
Oh, on this one.
It just says phone number. I could.
Oh, I did?
Edie's not, she said.
No,
she's
the other
not
one
there.
she's
Okay.
passing.
Oh,
I thought it was
really?
on that one too.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
not
see that.
Okay.
Oh, they probably, for the grant, they probably
Yeah.
don't need that.
All right.
She said, I just don't use it enough, she said, I'll forget it as soon as I, yeah.
Right.
So she's,
Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll still have plenty of a crowd, I think. And if we have people that don't show up today that were on the list, I'll call them, track them down. That's the thing after the chaos of the holidays.
Well, I know that I have to be gone. I know for a fact I have to miss one in February, and back in Minnesota again.
Okay.
It seemed like I had, I'm not sure if I've got any other conflicts right now, but I do know we'll miss the middle of February.
Yeah, okay.
but by that time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the first couple weeks will be more of the information, and then
I'd like to be.
you'll be mostly working on projects after that, so you
Well,
won't
we
miss
need
as
to
much.
download Canva on
Do you work for the chamber?
I'll send you a link.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
just find that
online,
people,
but you
you can
can.
sign up at the chamber and
get
get
an
it directly
app.
from the chamber, but people
I don't
don't
know
do it.
that you'll ever
And
want
so,
to use that, but
If
I
I
use
know
it
them and they
so
wanna do
much.
it, you know, I
Yeah,
can.
a lot of
An
them
app
do.
for your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't see it on my phone.
It's hard to
Remind me,
move,
if
too.
somebody else I was gonna put on there just recently, I'm trying to remember who that was.
it's been handy for me if I have
Right, right,
everything done and then realize right before I print it or something, you know.
I just,
If you don't have to do too much on your phone,
I'm
it's
trying to think who
nice
just
to
told me.
have.
I don't, well, I.
If you don't have a
my phone-
computer on
Well,
your.
my phone doesn't work that well, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do it right when somebody tells me.
There's
Yeah, I
Ann.
think I sent it to about 30 people. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we had good weather.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure because somebody said that it might be nasty today, but maybe that's a few.
It's a great.
supposed to snow starting tonight.
I honestly hope so. We are.
So dry out there.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Cold? I know it's chilly out now.
Ooh.
Know what's coming up.
It is January.
I don't really like.
Yeah,
pretty mild January.
Yeah, we're kind of.
We have green grass.
I know, I'm spoiled in there.
Anybody else just show up for today, right? We're gonna have for still.
Yeah.
Hi there. Yeah, you can sit anywhere.
Yeah,
We just have push on too. We have push on this
spot.
I can just have-
Today's the sixth.
All day.
All
day. That's what up front, we have leathercraft this afternoon, but, hour and a half. We probably won't be there full 2 hours today.
I know there are all these things
Well,
that one to do around here if you did not already have.
Take plenty of time to get to
Yes.
I know, it's like, how many places do I run today? I'm not sure.
I know, yesterday,
It makes
so
me
busy or something.
That's what we have the cushion though.
That's something
After
to
an hour.
We'll give it just a couple minutes. There are a couple people that might be trickling in. Just so everybody knows, if I have this door closed, it locks automatically, but there's this door over here if you go around through the lunchroom.
That's from the couple memories.
Okay.
First come, first served.
We do have, I guess that said, this spot on this end. Jim Kelly's gonna be here, so I'm gonna leave that open for him.
Is that the one with everybody's name on it?
Yeah, Margaret will read that, so.
Yeah, I have it
Oh, yeah.
written on it.
Oh,
yet.
you-
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Meredith. I didn't have your name down there yet, so I wasn't sure if you're gonna be here.
I can drag it, but it's too bad.
Online.
It's becoming a Margaret in March.
Yeah.
Like her table.
Margaret's.
Diane and Margaret, and yeah.
Yeah.
This would be a lot of money.
I have a D name, and I say any D names are just, you know.
When Margaret's
All the
there,
same.
she rented
I'll be
the,
here pretty much all day. So I have ASU and partner class.
Yeah.
Joan Hershey.
Oh,
No.
Margaret,
Margaret and Joan and
or
Margaret.
Margaret and
I
Joan.
know, I
Oh, huh.
That was interesting.
That must have been very confusing.
Well, not so much, I mean, I was not there that much, but Joan and Joan.
But Joan and Joan
Yeah,
and
Margaret and
Margaret,
Margaret, that was
it's not like there are that many Joans. There seem to be quite a few.
There are more Jones than you, well, I was in Bible study, there were 3 Jones in that Bible study. Joan Crow, Joan Smith, Joan Hubbard.
Yeah, my big problem is with Linda's.
We can't now.
We'll see how.
I know, so many Lindas I need to deal with.
Okay, I know we have one more
It was so
person
much fun
calling
meeting
in here.
Linda
in a
Clark,
second.
who I always refer to as Linda Clark, who is my sister.
As in, Marcia.
Yes, and it was only at her funeral that, she and I realized that we went to the same high school. And that she
Linda
was
Clark did?
not Linda Clark, but her daughter.
Oh, Marcy,
Yeah,
back in Utah.
Yeah, we went to Skyline High in Salt Lake, and she would have been in classes with my brothers. That's a few years younger.
Alright.
I'll see where Steve's
It's coming
Well,
in.
it's weird when
Out
you
of
have
the 5 high
Salad
schools, 5,
dressing
6 high schools that existed at the time.
Yeah.
Deb Chase.
He'll always be coming in closer to 11 because he has
She
steady
was one of my
therapy
sessions.
sessions.
Her husband Jerry.
Hi, Steve.
And their assistant, her sister,
Who
works at the.
But
She was not.
I'm recording this too, so he can still catch up.
Volleyball team that I.
Oh, are you gonna record all of them?
Yep. That way we can go back and look at him.
Yeah, it was weird.
The first couple weeks anyway, because I'll be talking quite a bit. Then people can go back and listen and watch when we have the screen up here. I'll tell everybody. I'm recording. It's on YouTube. And that way, if anybody misses, I know one guy had his water heater broke this morning. So if you miss something, it's not going to impact you too much. And we'll really just be talking really the first couple of weeks. And then you'll be more on your own and working.
Do we need to bring a computer or?
I think even next week I'll mostly talk, and then the week after that we'll work through things.
But yes, right?
If you want to have it with you, but I know it's just another thing to carry and tote around, so.
Well, my actual Canva's on my desktop and my
Oh, yeah,
laptop is Linux, but I can go to the Canva,
okay.
on the web browser.
Do you have a subscription for Canva or are you using the
No.
free version?
Free version.
Okay.
So the link you're gonna send is a free version.
Yep.
I was going to.
So Steve, I'll give this to you. I don't think you got that yet.
Yeah, we can get this on.
You want these?
Oh, yeah, in surveys. Thank you.
Full Canva?
No.
Yeah, I usually,
What's my next thought on that topic? So these are gonna be available, I don't think after week 3 or anything that we'll really need to record anything. It might be fun to do presentations because generally we'll have this TV over here. There will be a screen on that side of the room and I'll hook my computer up to it. And I'll go through everything. I'll help you build something basically so you can mostly sit and watch at first. It's easier to do that than looking up at, constantly from your screen, and it takes a lot of brain power, however much we think we multitask. It's hard to do this while you're listening and trying to look at that screen. So I haven't taught this class yet, but I've taught several art classes over the years. So I'll just kind of introduce myself. Most of you know me. My name is Danica Shell. I started 5 to almost 6 years ago now working for a program which is funded by grants through the Wyoming Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts. And it's called Creative Aging. And so that's the program. And the organization was Lifetime Arts. So actually, before COVID happened, I was already signed up for this teaching training for creative aging, which is, at first they said 55 and older, but now it's more 60 and older. I guess for grant funding, they have to be more specific, But initially, that was a library project through the library systems. Hi, you can come and sit. It started, so I was scheduled to take the training virtually anyway for creative aging. And then COVID happened. So it actually really kind of did great things for the community now that we're back in person. Since we have funding with this project, so there are 2 classes today that are creative aging classes. If you see those, I like to make them free. Part of the training says you can charge some money for it, but I don't want to. I get more enjoyment out of, like, the leather group ends up getting free tools. If they want to keep them, they can. And when I've taught sketching and watercolor in the past too. Everybody gets a nice kit that I would let you keep. And so with this class, part of the funding is going to the Canva subscriptions. So this week, what I'm going to do with this list, and I'll try to catch up with other people who didn't get me their emails. I'm going to try to send you an email. If you don't see it, don't panic. Just let me know next week. Because it's going to take a little arranging on our end. We're going to have to make an account and have 15 people on our team. There's something called a team. Canva, I didn't use until I'd heard about it quite a bit in the nonprofit sector and people using it to make flyers, but I never really used it until I was using it at a job. So I guess I'll just go back to my education too. I went to design school in Portland right after high school for apparel design, of all things, sewing. So I learned how to drape and pattern making and all sorts of things. I was there a little more than a year and realized it was just honestly too corporate. I realized I wanted to make more expressive art. Now looking back on it, I know I can do anything. And we really actually had teachers that encouraged us to not go out and work for ourselves. Now that I'm an artist and have been doing these things for so long, I realize it gets pretty boring to be pigeonholed. But when I went to school initially, a lot of what people were doing was graphic design. That was the thing. So it's 20 some years ago. So some of those kids that I went to school with were getting graphic design majors. Well, here we are, and those people are unfortunately losing jobs because of AI. I actually had a friend too that's in the film industry, and he said that the animators, so people who do the cartooning and such, have also left the industry. So that's kind of sad. I'm glad that I went and did something more hands-on. Eventually, I got my fine arts, associates in fine arts from Sheridan College. I went back in the end of my 20s to school in Colorado. The name of it is Naropa. It's in Boulder, but it's not the big university that's there. That was an interesting education because it was an art degree, and we had one room in that school. After I left, they got like a sculpture room and all those things. I think they even had their own private studios. But I think those things build character sometimes. Then I moved back here and started a family. And a few years ago, found out that just by listening to the radio that Sheridan College had an arts administration certificate available, which is random. But it was right what I needed then because I was a mom at that point. I'm not going to go get a master's degree because that's another 3 years and $100,000+ of debt. So I'm kind of a lifelong learner. If I get the option to take classes, I'll keep doing it. And so I kind of just got lucky that right after I got my arts administration certificate, I worked at the art center in Gillette for a while. And that's where I learned how to use Canva. I haven't seen it offered as a class. You could probably find somebody that does it on YouTube as a class. You know, there's a lot online. But the thing there is you don't get feedback. You're still just looking at a screen. So I like this program because I didn't go into graphic design. I was actually really at a fault, you know. Would have saved myself some money if I had had something like this sooner. So I am excited to teach it so other people can be more comfortable with it. It's really user friendly, pretty intuitive. It can be weird and frustrating, but that's problem solving. And I tell my students that problem solving is a huge thing in art. So if you figure out, and that's just repetition and using the program. At first it feels weird, just like anything. trying to figure out where things are. And another plus about this program is you don't have to know publisher is how a lot of people make magazines and such. What's the other one? Oh, Photoshop. This doesn't have quite the capabilities of Photoshop, but you can edit photos. And actually, I think it was Lois came to me asking about Word because your computer wasn't going to support the older version, right? Something along those lines.
Publisher,
Publisher.
yeah, publisher.
Everything now costs you every single year a subscription. You never own it, and that's really unfortunate. So that's why I love tangible books and anything that's not in the cloud. And that horror story 10 some odd years ago, this seems like a while back. But you look at all these things that have happened and say, oh, that was a problem then. So a student at the college when I was getting my bachelor's degree started a class, paid for a digital book that was $500. It happened, which happens a lot, happened to be the book that the teacher had written. But it was digital. He bought it. He could never go back and sell it and get his money back after he dropped the class, even 2 weeks in. So same thing now with Photoshop. A lot of those have different levels of subscription. So if you're using it commercially to make money, you supposedly pay more. I'm sure there are people out there that get around that, but if you get caught, honestly, the trouble is now too, copyright is very washy. Anything you put online is basically, I actually heard recently that even emails are being scanned by AI technology to pick up all the information. So whatever that is, that's why I like buckle down and say, oh, this is fun. We can do this ourselves. It's a practical thing to learn. And I'm excited too, because this class has people that aren't normally in my art classes. I'll pass these around. These are some books we did with Margaret's class last spring. Oh, you've seen those. This one, it's not that. Just so everybody can kind of look at them a little bit. The great thing now, actually my first creative outlet as a kid was writing, and I was writing stories and always wanted to do that book. I haven't quite yet, but now I know I can do those things on my own. So these books were made in Canva. I had to do some problem solving to get them to another program called Blurb. And if anybody's interested in hearing kind of, or seeing one day the rundown of the different, or how to make a book. I made all of my pages in Canva and then imported them to another program. And we made those books out of our stories from that group. It was last spring. I don't have the cookbook here. I was looking around. I thought I might still have one. Last year we made a cookbook. I made that in Canva. All the pages look like recipe cards, but it's long format. It has a spiral bound. I'll bring it when I know I have one at home, but I was able to really personalize that. I changed all the page colors, so each section has pink or yellow, depending on what the category was. And it's really opened up my world. Like now I get excited about being able to teach these things to other people because it should be accessible and it is easy. I don't know if you'd ever see another Canva class available. So that's what I'm pretty excited to this year. We had thought last year with a lot of the funding things that this whole creative aging program was going to end and there wasn't going to be funding. Part of the program was ended by executive order, but our state legislature, I think, is the one who picked up and made sure we had funding this year for this program. So it was pretty surprising to like, oh, we do get to keep doing this because it's great for community building. And I hope that you all, like some of your, then the other writing group can go on and help each other out. Like this new newsletter here, the publication, this little couple pages, I'm gonna put that out every couple of months. We have the breeze, but we have so much going on here, it's hard to get as much as we want in there. I used to always do this schedule anyway, this monthly schedule, and now I'm just do it once every 2 months, but have, and that was actually an adaptation from the calendar last year. It cost us money, but it was sort of a marketing tool and community building. But as I thought about it, by the time I make this calendar and everybody uses it halfway through the year, I don't even always keep looking at my calendars and forget to switch them. And then the information might be out of date, depending on what happens in 6 months. So instead of doing this year, we're going to do this newsletter, and it's going to be pretty handy, I think.
Is this
I'll pass
just
this around too.
done on the copier?
That's what the breeze used to look like. Now looking back at it, it's nice and big now. If any of you haven't seen it, it's out there for January. But it's printed out of house now. The deal is it's free, so we save our printing ink and paper every month. And those guys are selling advertising. So it's free to us. The advertisers help pay for the printing that way. Here's another, oh yeah.
On these, though, is this coming out of grant money, or is this coming out of your funding for the?
That is just general funding. We have like marketing funding in-house.
So.
I think we did build like $300 in for printing costs
So.
in this class
Is it
particular.
suggested that maybe we do donations towards this? If we want to keep it.
If you'd like to, and that's actually going to be, if any of you get excited and say, oh, I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going to turn this into a collective project. So if you know anybody who wants to help with this every couple months, it's an ongoing project because the farther ahead you are, the better. Especially with the stuff is going to stay consistent. That way, in any given month, you get a couple new photos and articles. The other trouble with the breeze is they just didn't have enough room to get all of our writing group stuff in. So this will be a nice way to have a little bit of space. Honestly, I could have put 3 pages, so that would have made it 12 front and back, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be
Math.
12.
Yep.
But we
Anyway, there's some options there if you would like to help participate in keeping this project going, because it's stuff you can do at home. Problem solving, I'll just go back to that too for a minute because it's a new program. It's going to feel weird. I still have to really problem solve. Actually, I used a template once a couple of years back that was a resume template. Every time I downloaded it, it did really weird things. Like it had my heading on the first page and it was completely big. And then all the content was on the next page. It took me 2 years going back and a couple times trying to figure out why it was working that way. And honestly, I think some other templates now are going to come from AI, but whoever's on the back end of those templates, it used to be that people were making those things to put into Canva. So think of a template as like clip art. It took me 2 years to figure out that I had to take everything apart. And when we look at the screen, you'll know what I mean, but you can group several things together. And I realized there were lots of blocks, like this blue block, but it was white in the background. It would not show up on my screen as I was making the thing. And every time I printed it or downloaded it, I was just seeing this huge gap. And so I think part of the fun thing is, and part of the reason people keep doing these things, it's a challenge. Not everything is easy in life. Sometimes it's fun, you know, this is enjoyable, but there are also those moments where it's a good idea to walk away from the screen for a while. And speaking of, you know, sitting in here for an hour, sitting down, we'll probably take a break at like 11 and I'll just have everybody get up. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, Edie Taffner, she was gonna take this class. She probably done, now she's done her project. She had, it was 80 some odd page, at least. This is 100 pages.
Wow.
She had a whole lot already written before that class.
Really?
So as you get to it, oh shoot, these don't have page numbers on it either. I think it was 100 some odd pages. We had funding with that class. What we used the funding for was to pay Margaret, which is awesome because I was doing like my day job, but also teaching with that grant when I was in Sheridan.
And the books. In the books.
Yeah, publishing the books, yeah.
Yeah,
The outcome of the books was great.
it was a big project.
And it was an incentive because there were people who probably would have dropped the class if they hadn't had the books at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right,
I
Margaret.
think it was a key part of 4 or 5 people in that.
It was
yeah.
an
It
incentive
was
to
an incentive.
finish,
Yeah, they got it done.
to stay and do all the projects, and
A lot of
it was
people,
fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys can do it again.
yep, I think next, when these grants are available. I guess since you asked about funding to help this keep going, I'd say too, calling the representatives and such is a big thing because they know how important this program was in Wyoming. And actually, when it was sort of its pilot program, from what I understand, it was when it was ended by executive order, it was just Missouri and Wyoming. But quality of life that it provides for people, and that was part of the whole goal, is to get people out and community and you meet new people, and start new projects, you know.
Getting it down, I mean, I'm self-advocating, but having those people that might not have written it down.
Yeah.
Getting it, being able to put it where, and I urged at Edie to give it to the library for I don't know if she did, but, you know.
I kept a copy of everybody's,
The
so
history
I'm gonna try to keep them all
content
together
was
too, but
huge. For like Gladys grew up here.
yeah.
Frank and Lois.
How big was Clarence's book? Do you
It
remember?
wasn't very big, but
Really?
the crazy thing with Clarence's book is it felt like it could have been an entire movie in like 50
Really?
pages.
I believe it.
That man's super interesting, to
So
say
was
the
your
least.
dad.
My dad, yeah. And that even, speaking of memories and making those things, my dad was in an accident like 2 days after that class ended. So the last picture I have of my dad ever probably standing upright is that day. So I think it's pretty great that, like I said, when I was probably 6 years old, I started writing stories. And to be honest, I think writing is probably the hardest of those creative things for me because it's emotional and it's very tangent. And art, I can just make it pretty, and it's kind of therapeutic to make it. Doesn't have to say a lot, but you know, when you're starting to really deep dive into certain things. But like Lamar had a book that he had started his first chapter in high school, he said. And Lamar's in his 80s. He's supposed to be in this class. I think he's sick. So, and he eventually finished his book. I don't know if that was with help with you guys or before he met you or. And I think he went to Amazon, so Amazon can do all these. I'll say something about that real quick too. Amazon has its own publishing, and I think with those, people just pay to print it. You don't have to have it available as a physical copy. These, I purchased 50 of these. This was my first book I ever made with Canva. I'll show you that in a second. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Where was I? Lamar,
He completed the first book
yeah.
and has it been published, and the second one he's in process with.
Oh, yeah, okay, so Amazon, sorry, we went off on that tangent. I used a program called Blurb, and another gentleman just showed that to me one day, and, cause he had done a lot of self-publishing. So, I haven't passed out our plan yet, but at first we'll kind of compile content, so that means you'll find some photographs and any kind of information. You know, if you have a specific goal right now, you might as well just work on the project. You could also just make a flyer, or Christmas time, we were doing Christmas Canva cards, so we had sort of a light version of this class then. So I was working with the library in Sheridan, back to that a little bit. They were doing all my printing for me when I was teaching over there for like 4 years, I think, until this last year, doing watercolor and those things with the library for that creative aging program. They were always printing in-house. Man, it was expensive. Printing, we're pretty lucky here too. It's a subscription, so if you stay under so many copies per month, yada yada. These things matter because I'll just say, if you print your things at home, you might as well be planning to print a whole bunch, because it turns out ink doesn't go very far. A, B, if you don't use your printer very often, it's going to dry up. But I bought a new printer a while back, a couple, 3 years ago now. And who's that? Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. I was just seeing what you were doing.
Oh, we have a Canva class. Until noon.
Oh, okay.
Yep. This is the first day.
Okay.
So Wednesdays are pretty full in here now.
Okay.
It was open studio. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, printing. I bought a new printer. It wasn't that expensive. I was like, oh, this is pretty nice for 80 or 90 bucks. The cartridges were like $50 a piece. And it is such a racket. I had a really decent printer before this one, and it broke. And it turns out it was a plastic gear inside. There's no fixing that. That's like, there's a term now called planned obsolescence. They don't care if it lasts longer. It's better for them to make more money and make you buy stuff every couple of years. But as soon as
go ahead. Is your ink colored? That you
Yeah.
have in your new printer?
well, either or, it's just expensive.
No, I know.
It's
I'm
tough.
just curious for the way you're printing. Is this
Yeah.
a color printer that you're doing?
Yeah, that printer that I have at home, it's nothing fancy, but it does the job. Honestly, though, I would say if you're gonna want to get a printer at home that's decent, you might want to go higher tech than you want and get a nice $500 photograph printer, as opposed to a cheapo like I bought, because you'll be able to do a whole lot of stuff on your own, and it'll just look professional. $500 is probably what a printer used to cost anyway. So I've seen people who do their own calendars and photographers, use a nicer, bigger printer. If you're gonna invest in something, back to Photoshop, that's like $1,000 a year now, and you never own it. So as soon as you stop paying, you don't have access anymore.
So it's not a new edition each year. It's like, okay, I get this edition this year, but I don't keep it.
Oh yeah, subscription. No.
Another question back to the printers.
Mhm.
A while back, I was looking at printers, and I forget which company, it may have been several, that had printers with an ink reservoir.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone
Most
used
of them do.
those?
Yes.
Huh.
So is that cheaper than the cartridges?
Yes.
Because as Danica
I
says,
believe it
cartridges eat me alive.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Because you can fill up whichever color you're out of.
Right. And it's just,
You just-
I buy a quart bottle or whatever and pour
I bought
it in.
my printer a year ago and I have not bought new bottles.
What brand do you have?
Canon.
That's what.
That's what I have, is Canva. I like it.
I was looking for a nicer printer at some point. I have access
Is
to
it a
one here
laser?
now, but
Canon
Yeah,
color
it's
laser?
not a laser, no.
okay.
If she's putting it in ink, then it's not laser. That's a different thing.
Oh, see, I don't know that.
Well,
It
lasers,
was
then you have ink cartridges you put in.
And they will last a long time, but it depends on what you're kind of
Well,
printing.
the thing I have against like some of the ink cartridges is they're not waterproof. You spill a drop of water on it and it's ruined.
Oh,
And it's not an inkjet.
yeah.
Or I mean that it is an inkjet.
Yeah.
And so it's not waterproof.
Inkjets are not waterproof.
Right.
But a laser is,
Laser should be.
should
Yeah,
be.
laser
Lasers
is.
are waterproof.
More so than.
Okay.
They're not waterproof in the sense that we wash them up. They're kind of-
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
won't ruin your picture when it dries out.
Right. And so that said, you're gonna get a full year subscription with this. Right now, I think their subscriptions are $125 a year.
And this is a subscription of what?
Canva.
Okay.
Sorry. Hello. Oh, hi. Oh, do you? You got Canva class in here. How are you? Good. We're gonna hang out.
I just wanted to
Ooh.
have a bunch of big deal.
Oh.
So yeah, that calendar is awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I was able to
Did it come
access
through?
It did
Did it? The PDF? Okay.
Well, invited you. I just invited the board and become a Canva member. That's what I can access it.
Well, we will, I think if you get us, talk to Trey, we probably have team member spots left. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So we weren't sure yesterday. I sent that newsletter to Sarah. And I sent her a link originally to the Canva project. But after I saved it as a PDF, it reads it to you,
It
right?
does, yeah.
Awesome.
Month by month, and then each day, and then what's on those days.
Ooh,
And
perfect.
it sounds so good.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
That's the other thing we don't think about is accessibility, and you'd be surprised, some of it is just built in now, but some programs don't have read
Right, yeah, it's
text,
right.
et cetera.
Especially a calendar.
Yeah.
So,
Do you wanna sit with us?
how many people do you have?
10-ish, 9? It'll be a 15 people class when we get full. Yeah.
Are they all props or?
Oh, no, today we're just talking mostly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to say thanks because
Yeah,
it was so nice to actually go through it.
yeah, that's good to know too, because as we all age, our eyesight is tough, and
All of the above, every sense.
yeah. Good. Yeah, if we get you signed up, and I'll say this too, since everybody's here. I'm gonna teach you how to build your own things. Now, Canva has attached apps that do a lot of things with AI.
Oh, does it?
So really, I think you could go make your own poster
Huh, that's cool.
and just plug in the information with AI. We didn't realize even until now, basically everything we're doing is attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Whether
for
or
better
not-
or worse.
Right.
But there are several things on Canva, and I'll show you that when we get into it, that you can just, it'll it'll compile your content for you, which is weird.
Will it
I'd
help,
rather know how to do it.
will it help you find images and stuff, like, or do you know?
Well, and Canva has just a lot of clip art and things, and I'm not sure what, like we were just talking to about AI collecting information now out of emails. It's scanning everything. So, yeah,
No, thank you.
that's the weird thing. Like earlier, I mentioned copyright. Now there's really no way to stop it. It's not artistic license, but
If it's on the internet, it's everyone's business.
yes, it doesn't belong to you anymore.
Bummer.
Basically.
Well, that's-
So you might not be too surprised someday eventually when you see your own face up on something, which is scary. Or a lot of actors are losing jobs and such because they've signed contracts that lets AI use their voice.
Mhm.
So
And they're out of a job, yeah.
it's interesting times.
There are though people that are becoming very skilled at teaching others how to notice when it's AI.
Yeah, Yeah.
Because there's
Fake news, all the things
Yeah,
that
there's
you can't
science
tell.
images and the
Yikes.
recordings and
Yeah.
videos, that there's ways to know, but, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, I have a question for you with regard to that, this is Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
You, because you have a vision impairment,
Hmm.
are you heightened, if you were listening to an AI audio with your particular limitation on your eyes, make you heightened in your ability to hear that in your ears?
I pay attention better with my ears.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my hearing has improved necessarily, I just am able to focus better and I can definitely tell. Like when it's a robot voice, I'm like, ooh, who talks
Yeah.
like that? Oh, nobody talks like that, right? And cause they'll say things like, if it says there's a tear in the paper, it'll instead say there's a tear in the paper.
Oh, yeah.
So like, right, context. And so I was like, that's right, because it's AI. So it's easy for me to tell. But if you're just listening to it and looking at it with your eyeballs too, you'll miss some of the audio clues. Yeah.
And information spreads so fast, so it's like, oh, somebody said something that's not true, and then all of a sudden a million people have the wrong information.
Isn't that neat?
Are you busy? Do you want to sit with us?
No, I just,
Okay.
I'm head out.
I was just gonna start the whole making everybody introduce themselves.
Oh, okay, well, I'll go first. I'm Sarah. I work across through that wall.
The other side of this wall.
Yeah.
is the room.
So, anyhow, enjoy.
What's your title?
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's long ones, so I
It's on my
forget.
business card, so that's what I was going, I'm the community resource and advocacy director. So I help find community resources for people and I advocate for people with disabilities and aging related mobility issues.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a lot.
She's great.
Much like
Big
you.
asset to the community.
I'm excited to hear about how this goes. It should be posted.
I'm excited for this class because it's a little bit different from the people that sign up for my other art classes.
It is.
So I was reel them in this way.
In the best way possible.
Especially when things are free, that's a good
Yeah.
incentive. Free is an incentive.
Awesome.
Thank you. So we'll probably have another knock on the door here before too long, Jim. Oh, yes.
Before we go much further, can we get introductions? Cause I only know two class
Yeah,
members.
that's what I was gonna do. So today, I don't like to get too much into like the meat of stuff until next week because otherwise we miss out on introduction time. You go first.
Okay,
Oh, here, let me guide you a little bit. Your name, background, whatever you feel like talking about, whatever art experience you have or don't have, and what brought you here to this class in particular.
okay, my name is Meredith Stairs and I live on a really small kind of hobby farm south of Lynch, Wyoming, so it's like 80 miles from here.
She might join virtually, so that's another exciting thing. If we have bad
because
weather,
if
we
it's
can.
snowing, I will definitely be virtual, but, so, this is probably maybe the 4th class I've taken up in Buffalo, maybe the 5th. And I took, other creative aging classes, I took, beginning leathercraft, and I took Margaret's class on writing down like your memories, and I made mine genealogy on what I had discovered about our families, and I've got a lot more I need to write, and I've been involved with art since I was a child. I used to like to draw, mostly horses, and did a lot of that, and then I painted some acrylic and stuff, but when I started having my kids, I didn't have time to do much. And so now that I'm older and retired and everybody's growing out of the house, I do more of it, and I do more crafting, and I also sew, and I don't particularly like quilt making, but I like making quilted garments. And I sew like all my husband's denim work shirts and things like that. And I just finished doing 5 Western shirts for one of my brother's friends.
Well, you finished them. That was
They're done. They're
that was a
done
long one.
delivered. And so, I'm involved in everything. I probably, any art thing, I've probably tried it at least once. And I really like coming up to Buffalo. I really enjoy the people I meet in the classes, and it's kind of like my social life. It's somebody else to talk to other than the dogs, you know. I got my husband, but he's never in the house. So anyway, I wanted to take the Canva. I got Canva at home, but I've never subscribed, and so I've used the free version some. And for $125 a year, it had better be pretty powerful. So I never subscribed, but I
Yeah.
want to know what it's capable of, and then I'll consider it. So that's.
So I'll touch on that too. So think about what that breaks down to each month. It's not that bad. You're gonna get yours for free for this year. A couple years ago, year and a half ago, they actually considered raising their cost because it's worth more.
So,
They're basically, there's no competition for these guys. But so many people were upset, it was gonna go up to like 300 just for the basic and then more for larger organizations.
well, see, and that cuts out a lot of people that don't
Yeah.
use it that much.
And they had a lot of feedback and decided to keep the same cost. I think they're out of Australia,
Oh,
but that was I was dang excited to hear that they went with keeping it cheap. It's a lot at first, it's like, oh, that's a lot of money. But when you break it down month to month, for what it is, I paid somebody $150 once to just put text in something that I spent hours scanning and making it look right. It was like a collage of fabrics on a scanner. And I didn't know how to use this program yet. It cost about $150. He didn't do it right the first time, and there were things we didn't notice, so we had some posters printed that were wrong. And that, honestly, for that one project, so it's an investment, but they do care because they didn't do the capitalist thing and just go ahead and charge as much as they could because they knew they were going to lose a lot of people. But who has $900 for Photoshop? Oh, and like Lois, I started talking about Word. She said, well, it's not going to be supported, and then you have to go pay for a Word subscription. This can do all of it. So instead of going and paying for your subscription to Word, now that we don't have the actual stuff installed on our computer anymore, it's actually pretty darn handy considering, you know, I don't know what a Word subscription or whatever the Office suite or what costs a year. Do you know?
No, it's a lot, but,
Office.
yeah, but you get a lot with it. You get like 5 programs or something with it.
Yeah.
That if you use it.
Yeah. Like you could make your own Excel type sheets here. I don't know about how they would interface or whatever. But chances are you might lose a couple of functions, but with all this program covers a lot of all those 5 programs.
Lois, I use Open Office, it's free,
Open.
and you can't tell it from Microsoft Word. Does all the same stuff, even looks like the same interface and everything. And you get PowerPoint, Word, Calc, and I can't remember what the other one is.
You
It's not what I use.
just download it from.
Yeah, it's called Open Office, and just Google it and it'll show you where to download it. I've used it for years.
Huh.
And I have it installed on my new Windows 11 desktop. So it's compatible.
That's the funny thing too, is there is a lot of stuff that is free.
Yeah, I use just
Because
free.
there are people out there who design the things to make people's lives better, not to make a rich person out of themselves. Just. Any other?
Yeah, who's the next one to introduce? I wanna know who everybody is.
Oh, you're a volunteer, I guess.
I'm Diane Fisher. I have no creativity. I can crochet a little bit, but I can't follow a pattern for what it was. I can look at this and I have no idea. But I can make things just by whatever. I think this, I'm way over my head in this one, but I don't have a laptop.
We're all starting from scratch though, and that's the nice thing, because if you have a project or something and you don't
I
have
have no
computer
project, I
access.
was just wanting to.
Yeah.
See how it works.
Yeah. you'll still get a chance to
Yeah.
work on the projects if you like, you know.
Mhm. I feel like I'm in the wrong place.
No, you're not.
So what do you do? I mean, are you a retiree or?
Yeah,
So
I just became retired
Oh, yeah,
last month, yeah.
what did you do before?
Oh, I've done all kinds of things.
yeah.
The last thing that drove me to quit working
Uh,
was a high needs para at high school, or at the middle school here.
Oh,
Oh.
that's great.
That drove me after 4 years. The stress is so bad.
yeah, school.
I've done Medicaid insurance billing. I was a speech aide in Alaska, because I came from Alaska.
Oh,
And they hire a speech aide, and the speech pathologist teaches us, and then we teach the kids. It's
Huh.
much cheaper. Yeah, between that and school. Yeah. Dental billing, chiropractic billing. That's my.
clerical things.
Mhm.
Are you from here originally or Alaska?
I'm actually from Ottawa, Canada.
Oh.
I'm a French Canadian, but have been in the US since 1987.
Huh.
So I'm a permanent resident alien.
Yeah. We actually have quite a few people from Canada. We have a couple of Germans here. And
It's really, when we came from Southeast Alaska, because we lived there for 24 years. Well, first we started at Fort Greely. That was beautiful, too, in the middle of nowhere. In winters, when it's 96, it's a little cold.
yeah.
We landed in Southeast with rain and rain for 24 years. And you're on an island. So
Where were we at in Southeast?
we lived in Ketchikan for about 7 or 8 years. Then we moved to Sitka for about 7 or 8 years. And then the last place was Wrangell. And I was good. I said, honey, you need to find me sunshine. Because I'm over this.
We do have blue skies here. Yeah.
Most of the time. I know when it's kind of gloomy out, it's like, oh, God, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I have to understand, it's not going to be permanent like there.
Right. It's hard.
Ketchikan was 210 inches of rain a year.
Wow.
Then we'll move to Sitka. It's only 175 inches of rain. Well, that's still didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it was supposed to be 105 inches of rain. It just seemed all the same. Rain. So,
Yeah, I lived in Portland for 2 years.
that's not very good.
Little more, and that was a whole month without seeing any. Oh, shoot. I thought I had that right. Good morning.
Right here?
Yeah, yep.
Oh,
That's a good spot on the
Maybe it is.
perfect.
Taking you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Our AP word. And so, I turned 65 this month. I was 76, but I just couldn't do it anymore. The stress was giving me too much for the last couple of years, heart complications.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Dizzy, so I come here now to Tai Chi, yoga, go to
yeah.
Balmer Mountain and do that one. It seems the more exercise I do, the better I feel.
Yep. And this is good. Don't feel like you're out of place because I've started classes doing like that too.
Well, a couple of years ago, we were at the elementary school for a few months. And I see that kitty up there. It's like, and I was just kind of watching the class, because, they sketch. They were starting to learn, and I thought it was so cool. But then they transferred me to the middle school.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was just learning something great.
I think that's where I was trying to figure out where I'd seen you as this.
That's what I was
Oh,
thinking. Yeah, faces
I
are
was
actually.
Years
Okay.
ago. So that was 2016 at prescription shop till 2018. Yeah, I've done a lot of things. We can move, when we moved from Alaska, we had no jobs here or nothing.
I was gonna say how'd you end up here?
Just.
Yeah, sunshine, but I said, first I told Jim, because he didn't really want to live in Alaska, so I told him, you get to pick. So he
Oh,
took
okay,
out Montana and Idaho and Wyoming. And his friend, we didn't know anybody in the other places, so his friend told us where to stay away from in Wyoming, where's a good place. It's just like the islands almost.
Yeah.
In Alaska, but at least we could drive somewhere.
Yeah.
Instead of being an island where you have to either fly or take a ferry to go somewhere.
Mhm.
So it's good. I love it here. I've been here since 2015.
15,
And Jim
okay.
wants to go back to Alaska. I was like, see you later, dude. I'm good.
This is a good spot.
It is.
Yeah, where it's quiet enough, and we can get up the mountains. I lived in Colorado for a while though, and it's like a traffic jam
Oh, yeah.
going up and down the mountain. It's not, quality of life. We're pretty lucky here.
Mhm. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I should have went to sketching before.
No, you're,
But I
That's
have no
the fun thing.
laptop. I have no printer.
Yeah.
I do have a computer at home. But
we'll be able to print these things here too. So we do have part of a printing budget, depending after we get subscriptions for everybody.
Mhm.
There's might be money left in the funding to be able to do one of these types of projects, bigger book type thing or something else printed. And it doesn't have to be anything big and fancy. Even if you say, well, and what came to mind, sort of staying active physically, but this is good for brain work.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be work, you might just be, my kid uses it sometimes just to make scenes. Cause there's so much clip art and photographs and geez, you can make PowerPoint presentations and videos. There are a lot of things on there actually that it can do that I don't even get into. But I did try one of the apps and so I'll go back to that real quick. The free version, there is a free version of Canva, but you only are allowed like one download. So if you make something, you download it once, it might be two, I don't remember. Then you can't download anything else. You only get so much clip art. And for anybody who didn't hear about it, this new little newsletter. I made this on Canva recently. If you have time and you want something to do, but you don't have your own specific project or want to work towards, you can help with this. I would like it to see it be kind of a peer project and people work on it that want to. I would love to do a yearbook if anybody wants to get together with me. I think it would be really fun to. Oh, and this blurb, you can print those hardback books. You can print just photo books. You can choose what kind of paper you have. So if you don't have a computer, laptop, anything at home, it's still just something to do. You could use the computers at the library. We don't have a community computer here, but I'm gonna open my computer up too for people if you have certain things some days.
Mhm.
And
Hello, my name is Ann Knighton. I retired once, so I'm not gonna do that again.
retirement was too much for you.
Yeah, I found myself way too busy. so-
Bored. Yeah.
It's true.
No, I was never bored.
No.
No, I was volunteering for all sorts
Oh,
of things. And
yeah.
that's when my husband sent me back to school, and here I am. So that's what led me to Wyoming, as I was called to serve two churches here. I'm pastor of St. Luke's Lutheran Church and Union Congregational United Church of Christ. So you'll see me wandering all over town doing things. I first met you when I was taking the watercolor class over at Cowboy Carousel.
Yeah.
And since then, I've taken the leatherworking class where I met you. And I took the sketching class with you. I'm part of the writing group with Margaret.
You're still extra busy.
And she's
She's
full-time
working.
job.
Whatever.
And yeah, and I
retirement looks like
yeah,
for
and
you.
that's the thing, I have a full-time job and have also taken on some teenagers up in Sheridan at a church there that is waiting for a pastor, so.
The youth group.
A confirmation class,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've got 11. They told me I would have 7, they bought materials for 10, and I have 11, and we'll probably have a 12 joining us, so, yeah.
I always think that's successful if it's bigger than you expect.
And I have
It used to be, it can be really hard to get people to show up for things.
And the strange
So
thing
more-
is, that I have 2 of the parents who sit in on the classes because they say they need to learn the information too.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all good. So, what else do you need to know? Yeah,
You're acting.
Oh, yeah, I also act, which is fun. I used to do a lot of community theater when I lived in California. I was a founding company member of the Redlands Shakespeare Festival in Redlands, California. Done a lot of Shakespeare, so I joined the Shakespeare class that
Oh,
just
yeah.
started. So that'll be fun. I'll have to not interject all the time, but luckily we've got lots of people, so that should just be fun.
This is a great spot just because there's so much happening.
There
And that's what I
is.
realized, just anywhere else in town, A, library, you can't really sit and have conversations with friends.
You
B,
can.
yeah, you can sure. But, coffee shops are so loud. I've actually thought about, I have lots of ideas in life. If I had time, I'd be making millions, but
No, I tell
a
people.
quiet coffee shop, so it's all just, you don't have the grinders and the steamer and, oh Lord, and it's just so loud.
No, I tell people this is the happening place in town because there's all sorts of things going on all the time and it's not just for seniors. That's the thing, in our writing group, we have people who won't be seniors for decades and that's good. I know in the summertime there are activities for kids. We see, all sorts of people coming through here, so.
Yep.
It's a great place.
It's a community center.
It-
We're still
Very much
like the hub rebranded in Sheridan a couple of years back because there's a what's the word I'm looking for? Stigma.
attached to seniors.
Stigma attached to senior, which is kind of ridiculous. I think we get better with age.
Well, yeah, it's because of,
We
people
learn
assume
more.
that we're all 90 and suffering from dementia or something. And
Yeah.
Instead, you have this vibrant community of people who are here.
And then the, oh yeah, we'll be done before too long. Does anybody need to stand up and move? If you want a bathroom break, we can take a formal break. If not, we can just stand up and walk around. I have a move. Yeah, we'll still introduce. We'll keep going. So I'll give you 5 minutes.
5-minute break.
Otherwise, if we don't move right now, it's gonna hurt later.
It will.
I've
Got
got
some cheers and double cow.
hip issues lately.
And I've been to Wrangell.
I am too.
Oh, yeah,
Another
if you want
class
to,
together, Jim.
today.
We get another class together.
Yes, we do.
Very
I
good.
can cover what I can for.
No, the Shakespeare class.
You can just push it, it's got a magnet back there. You can push it open, there's a magnet.
What?
Here you go.
Yeah,
I did it.
actually, I've
I did it. It's
Okay. Yeah, I put it on my calendar, and when I do, there's
See,
always.
Oh.
Going back and forth.
But yeah.
Yeah, we found a good set of tables for each other.
Very
I'm gonna
COVID,
try to
people
order
were
today.
blind and started to do
So
we're talking about
a pink
Oh,
day.
Well, I
It's a pink night. So it'll be 2 hours that day.
I'm
I
sorry.
did 11 to 1.
So,
Pink day. February 14th.
the next one.
We're gonna do a lunchtime.
Oh, okay.
2 hours.
Oh, no, I don't think any.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday.
I'll send you, did you get your new one here?
Oh,
your
there's that
name
too, but that's like saving your clothes.
Oh, there you are. Okay, perfect.
My sister.
Yeah.
That This is recorded, so you can go back and listen to everything. And especially the first couple of weeks, I'll talk quite a bit and do some demonstrations. After that, we'll feel it out and see if anybody wants it before we work. Probably
Right.
just most of
So,
it.
that's the only reason why we can't hear is because it's.
Yeah. So you can just listen in on that later and catch up. I just kind of explained some of
So the
the
selling part is part.
benefits and such of the program and
She was
project.
she was a representative from
Like,
Field publisher, what's turning into Canva.
The other day, somebody gave me.
Oh, publisher. I don't know if publisher, is that, do you know if that's part of that Microsoft package?
What's wrong with things?
Yes.
Is it?
Right,
So then I started
right.
fixing it.
Yeah.
At one time, then I think they.
Oh, yeah.
Off.
So that's what
About
I like
next
that.
level, the problem is it doesn't really
What's
well.
wrong?
Right.
She used to do a lot of.
Yeah, that's a hard thing.
I did, because my daughter was a dancer.
Everyone's
So
telling you
they
why.
made it do it.
Yeah.
Those are connection to, like that ceremony and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't want
That's
to.
the trouble is now we never own a copy of anything.
Right, was.
This is a nice program
See,
though,
that
because
was,
you
she
can
was
do
part
lots
of
of
the
the
way after
same
this morning.
things that all those programs offer. A lot of it's offered on Canva.
Carissa. Yeah.
So this week, you did miss that part, so I'm going to get it situated and hopefully have everybody, a link sent to everybody. If you don't see a link yet this week, just let me know next week. But don't panic if for some
Some commercial covers, some
reason.
creative.
You don't have homework between now and then, however.
You know.
It sounds like at the end, when it's, you have a finished project.
Some kind of project.
You know, as
I don't have much.
something that we can show that we have accomplished something
Yeah.
through this class. and it's great.
This is.
But I don't want to put pressure on people either, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I thrive
I'm not
under
sure I'm
pressure.
ready for this one. Maybe go back.
It's,
I was a journalist I was a journalism major before I was a lawyer, before I was a pastor, so. Give me pressure, give me deadlines and I'm good.
I can do this stuff. I did a few.
that's funny.
Sitting.
Well, then you should be part of our, yearbook group
That's
too.
why I belong to a group that's called Deadlines for Writers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For every month.
I just-
I gotta be honest, I'd be better if I have a deadline, because I like the art making, you know?
I'll wait till the last minute to do things, it doesn't mean I haven't been thinking
Exactly.
about it.
I'm always working with my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now I need to get.
And then when the last minute of that crunch time comes, yeah, then it's on a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's
fiction.
That's why that.
Well, you saw the, oh, this is here.
Oh,
This is the calendar that we did this last year.
Right.
So I made this on Canva.
Chill out. Yeah. I have so much.
Yeah. I've got, I looked at the class on the history of this one, but I.
That one might have been Smart Press. So we did this and a cookbook.
Picking up the.
I'll probably talk about this process too with people because it's worth hearing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
It's a
it
little
is
complicated, but of course, I've never read the how to work that.
Or especially like what I learned
Jump right into it,
doing
mess
this
it up,
and that
figure it
cookbook
out.
we did.
Yes.
I got them printed
No,
in two separate places. It honestly takes like an hour, 2 hours to research that kind of thing. Because it's cheaper elsewhere, you know.
I found it pretty cool.
Depending on, like, do I want to spiral down to that cookbook? And it was not as much that everybody specialized in.
How much more did it cost you to do a spiral down?
And you can choose different qualities.
That's the beauty of it.
I know it's more
expensive.
So many different.
And the basic, if you do that one, you can put it on their website for sale, copies later.
Yeah.
I think even if.
So like,
School.
we'll get into that when we talk about downloading. It gives you the option to say, hey,
So yeah, he's got a couple more years.
just for instance, if you download a
So
PDF,
anyway,
the
yeah.
PDF won't go
I
on
like
Facebook.
Yes.
So if you download it and you think, oh, where'd my files
So
go?
I wanna get my.
And you're trying to upload
husband's
something to
side of it.
Facebook,
I remember when.
it's not coming up there because it's not in the compatible format.
about his family.
I think on certain groups on Facebook, they can have PDFs for like rules and.
He was raised up in Buffalo.
Yeah, for instance, so I can save this image as a PDF before student.
Well, you could do some.
Yeah, I don't.
It's pretty handy, and that's like the trick is learning the ins and outs, what to find where. I'll give it a couple minutes, Wendy, you'll be back here.
Standing up is good.
There's not many of us living there.
So anyway,
But it's just a ghost town. There's probably maybe 4 people still living in it.
I think just Wendy might be out there still.
I tell everybody I live
She
here.
went to the bathroom.
But you can
realize
see
that I
it
have
from
to do that every good writing group, you're out there.
No, I didn't, she's,
I don't know this.
Kind of like where my husband's heading right now.
Yeah,
So
she's
right out
First hour.
in Tioga, North Dakota, I say, go to the middle of nowhere and take a left.
Take the left, yeah.
I
I like it, but I mean, you know, I like.
The other Margaret.
That's
how Margaret is.
It's really confusing when you got you and Joni.
I understand, pull it hard.
It's like showing, you know, Margaret wants it. Well, she's fine, she was mopping the floor when I left.
Oh, I didn't see her in a while.
Mopping the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
it's,
not gonna do that
yes.
tonight, we play.
You don't, you take a turn off on Highway
Yeah.
192 and it's just 3 miles up
So I
192.
gotta
Well,
be
we're
so clean.
just about
Got the
half
Christmas stuff up,
92 for that.
not quite done.
I wanna go explore that area, there's so much of Wyoming, I love their roads and nothing.
Well, you went to Alaska, because you walked around, around for miles and miles.
If you wanna come out there, I'll take you out to, Fort Rio.
I should come explore.
Can I either drive down my road or drive up her road?
Yeah.
Because she, you know.
Go explore some good places for outdoor
She
sketching.
does like to be able.
I'm excited for that too, don't forget to mention
Situation.
I'll
Yeah.
plug that later too.
One of my favorite Wyoming drives is go up on Casper Mountain,
Yes.
and then you take a dirt road off of Casper Mountain going towards Alcova.
He's just.
It's really pretty, you get some really pretty vistas and stuff on that road. It's a county road 407, I think.
So it's.
Of course, the trauma is very interesting. If you get to my, we used to come out from the Midwest, you go off to the west. We went out to watch the
Clips.
the eclipse, and when we came back, we were on this really tricky.
She was in
county
Texas.
road, but it was like
She
right
went-
on the
Her brother lives in.
You got to the county road,
Oh.
you got to where Johnson County met with the route, gravel, like trains, it was,
Exactly
you know,
what
it's
she
like
has down there.
Johnson County has this amazing job by comparison to.
And
Wow.
she does it.
Oh, yeah.
She goes completely.
Sheridan County, too, their plows are,
Yeah, you get to the county line of Sheridan and it goes out there to the Scotland.
That's because Casper sucks up all county money.
Pretty much. But I mean, Sheridan
we'll
was
see.
one they both.
But anyway,
It's
so-
the ends of our county road.
Well, it's probably the same for Sheridan,
Warwick.
Bighorn and
She said.
Sheridan suck up all the county money.
And so, you know.
well,
I'm glad she found somebody.
What is it?
Her niece down there
Heidi.
is involved
Oh, Wendy.
in
Roberts.
in there.
Yeah, she'll be back,
So
she
they'll
got,
be-
I bet she'll be back for this
They
or.
newish doctor and they got. She called on the Friday and got in on Tuesday.
So we're.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and I don't think Steve yet. Tell us about yourself, Steve.
Better than you.
Well, there's too much to tell.
But you gotta talk loud too, so everybody can hear
I work for the, what's now called, well, we called it the Soil Conservation Service for many years.
you. Civil conservation, yeah. Oh, yeah, Jim and Steve work together.
I'll give it to you.
And then,
When this one-
well, I worked as an engineer for 40 years, and 2 years before that, I worked as a draftsman. And so, when I retired last year, I had 42 years
Wow.
And now I'm gonna, I enjoy this company, keeping busy and doing things here.
There's a little bit of everything to do.
Yeah.
It's nice spot to do it. Oh, yeah, Steve's a wealth of knowledge, the old, the drafting things.
Yeah, we,
Things were all done by hand. No, AI wasn't doing people's jobs for them back then. Somebody had to know how to do it.
so there are good things about that, and there's bad things about it, but it's,
Time consuming.
yeah. It's interesting, because I'm originally from, and I call it Missouri. That's how I grew up. If you're from Kansas City or St. Louis, you say Missouri. You can always pick them out. The rest of us say Missouri.
And my grandmother called it Missouri.
And I think on most national broadcasts they say Missouri. But then after I promoted, I went to Western New York State, and I was there for a few years. And then I got a promotion and went to the Panhandle of Nebraska. And after working in Nebraska for a few years, I came to Buffalo, and I worked here most of my career, except for the last, 10 to 15 years has it been since I changed everything? And they stationed me in Douglas, so I got an old apartment downtown above an old store. I went back and forth for the last several years before I retired, because they keep combining things, and they just give you more responsibility and no more money.
Right.
More work, less fun.
And so then I might have stayed another year. I'm glad I didn't, but I started having heart troubles, and I went into the hospital in Casper. I had some blood issues, and so they couldn't do the regular what they call cabbage surgery on me, where they cut you open and replace your veins. And so they tried to do a catheterization, and the main vessel in my heart broke. So I'm kind of disabled a little bit. I'm getting better. That was a year ago. And I know Margaret's brother. I used to work with him. He's retired. Of course, Jim. And that's why I was saying I know some of the people down around Lynch. I worked with several of the landowners down there.
Oh, okay.
What I do is go out and survey and come back and design things. And, the last 2 years of my job have been a lot more administrative, where I was more of a supervisor. One time I had 9 guys I supervised across the eastern half of the state, and now that's kind of dwindled. So,
What was my other thought about you just now? Oh, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Steve comes to outdoor sketching, right now it's indoor, outdoor. Leather groups, bookmaking, there's a bookmaking class, so he's been working on a cool book that's leather bound book.
I can
Pretty
walk,
active.
I can walk about a mile a day, but after that, I get kind of tired.
Uh-huh.
Pretty. it's not like Jim and I used to, we probably would walk 6 miles a
6,
day
yeah.
for our jobs
Easy.
or more. And we were outdoors all of the time. I knew Jim for several years. He was on the west side of the state. I used to pray that he'd come over and be part of my staff.
Aw.
As my kids, when they watched the videos about the little trains, Thomas the Tank Engine, it's a very useful engine.
Yeah, Jim's a great guy.
So it was great working with Jim for the last several years. And I'm glad we got to do it.
Well, that's the good spot. There's like familiar faces and new friends to be made here. So.
Yeah.
We'll do our thing, or finish our introductions, and then I'm gonna quick run through our plan for the next few weeks. I'll send you home with the outline. Go ahead. Sorry, I have a weird eye twitch. If I look like I'm really blinking and
You're winking at me.
the eyebrows. Trying to get that, blink it out. Tell us about yourself, Jim.
Jim Kelly, I'm no longer employed. I retired last year, and I'd worked for the Natural Resources Conservation Service under Steve for many years. He was great to work with. Oh, I don't have to suck up anymore, do I?
That's funny.
Anyway, I mainly did irrigation engineering and a lot of CAD work, like AutoCAD, design drafting, and I really enjoyed it. And then I think it was the end of August last year that I retired, and I've been doing mainly getting involved here at the senior center. It's really nice when they have classes that people can get involved in. I really enjoy it. And then
Yeah, we're lucky here.
my hobby is photography and woodworking, and I got to work with Danica many years ago when she had founded Maker's Market.
Yeah, we did Maker's Market at the Carousel Center off season from the farmer's market,
Yeah,
but it was once a month. But we
yes,
did that for years. That was fun.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad because I still have space, but yeah, I used to use their space some, but now I feel like I have all the extra and more because, teaching on the go is a big chore. I can do a little more now and it's a little settled in, but I'm glad that we have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, he
Thanks.
just makes amazing frames. I actually started framing too, my
Did you?
last job before
Oh,
working here. I was working,
Oh.
downtown framing for a couple of years. It's really got tough on my hands, so I'm glad I was able to lean into teaching, but detail-oriented things. So I'm glad to have you. And this is the nice thing with recording it is people can go back and listen and catch back up. Because I think Jim will always have therapy, one of the
Yes.
earlier in this time slot.
yeah.
But you're gonna get to go catch up afterwards. But you're still here to take the class. That's the
I am,
important
yeah.
thing.
And I
That's
guess
it.
I'll throw out there. So it was November 5th, 2023 that I had a pretty major stroke. I can't remember the term for it, hemorrhagic
Yeah.
stroke.
Oh,
And so that's why I'm going to therapy and may not always be here on time.
but that's all right. I just say if you show up, you get an A for the day. I'm not grading anybody. But honestly, one of the guys that was supposed to be here today came in and said, our hot water heater broke. So I'd rather have you guys here when you can be, but I do know that sometimes day to day, I don't even know if you have the energy to be here tomorrow, So do what you can. I'll always work one-on-one with anybody too, that's the nice thing. We were still able to accommodate, so
Thanks, Tim.
it's good to have you. I'm trying to, at some point, I'm hoping we do every 2 months now, rotate the artwork out here. So I got you on my back list when you're ready.
Sounds good.
Because his frames are a work of art. And if you haven't had something custom framed, it is like part of the artwork, the art of it. But it's practical. So that's why this is kind of fun, because it's a creative program, but it has practical uses. This is like a tool. So excited to see what we all do.
Yeah.
Hey, ready? Your turn, Anita.
My turn. Anita Eddington. I grew up in South Arkansas, ended up in Wyoming via Arizona and New Mexico. Have done a little bit of all sorts of things. Trained as a teacher. Actually did that for a few years. When I retired, I bought a 28-foot travel trailer and traveled.
Nice.
And when I had my knee replaced, that sort of stopped a lot of my traveling.
Yeah.
About it.
I don't know that you haven't done much art background, but you're in the writing group.
I've taken all sorts of art classes. They just don't take me.
Yeah. Because I know you started watercolor, one of those down at the Carousel Center, but watercolor is one of my favorite classes. It's always at 10 on Tuesdays if anybody wants to come. And everybody says they're not an artist, but that's the funny thing. It's actually very learnable. It's a lot more logic than you would think. It's problem solving, but just so you know, if you're not an artist, maybe you just need to try it. Sometimes you just need a different teacher to hear it explained differently. So watercolors, it's like a recipe. Speaking of cooking, it's a science. So creativity and science, I was gonna actually think about that too, with art versus design. They cross in a lot of ways. Design is sort of creative problem solving, basically. So you figure out, my favorite thing to talk about is a dustpan that doesn't pick up the dust. It had one purpose, but you can't get all the dust in it. Why did the designer stop there? They did not try their product. So those things to think about, because even if somebody picks up a pencil once to learn how to draw and 20 minutes later you realize, oh, my eraser's horrible, and you quit and you say, I'm done. I'm not an artist, but you only got 20 minutes at it. Yeah. Keep at it. Okay, Margaret.
Okay, Margaret Fraley.
The other Margaret.
Yes. I was raised in this area. I graduated from Sheridan High School and also Sheridan College. Went to Laramie for a year and then went down to Arizona. Graduated from ASU with a business degree. Moved back home 78, 79. Worked a couple places, and then I got the great idea I should start a business. And that's one of those, you're supposed to have a business plan. I forgot that part. So it just grew as to what I felt was needed, and I had the business for 34 years, I guess, Sagewood. And
Oh, yeah.
so,
Thank
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It makes me sad some days when I'm not there, and especially holidays was tough to get. This was my toughest holiday not to be there, but it's the way it is. And we sold the business almost 2 years ago now. And last year we sort of had some medical issues, so I didn't get to do a lot, and this year I am. So I'm here at the Senior Center, thank goodness. I'm also on the Senior Citizen Service Board, which actually handles the mill levy that was passed a number of years ago to fund the Senior Center. And so that is really nice to be able that our community did that before COVID, before it might not have passed.
Planning ahead is so important.
Yes,
And-
and somehow that happened, and I was,
yeah.
Susie and I were on boards before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you actually worked for me at Sagewood once
Yeah.
upon a time.
I
so
did.
A lot of connections with people in.
And that's the good thing here, if we retire, and it's kind of like, if you sit at home, it's wears on people to not have the community, so.
And the senior center is just so welcoming as a group. I mean, you know, you can come through people come in and just be passing through for 3 weeks and they just love it. And I was just saying this morning to someone, I don't know if all senior centers are this welcoming because I haven't gone to a lot of them, but I know this one is. And if anybody comes to Buffalo and doesn't know about it, they should.
Yep.
Because of all the things they do offer, whether it's art, whether it's exercise, whether it's cards for entertainment, or whatever cards are. Sometimes you
Depends on the day.
We all have our favorites. And you can become as involved as you want or not. So that's great. And I appreciate the classes, even though maybe watercolor another time. I wasn't good. That was just, at that time it was like, that's too much. Anyway.
It is.
That's my thing, so.
Yeah, good. But pick and choose, and that's the thing. Now maybe you think you start on this kind of project and think, oh, I'd love to make my own little illustrations to put in something, like on your stationery.
Yeah, well, Linda Dunn did all that, so I didn't have to do that back in the day. And I've done different posters and different things from different printing type programs, have never had time to really do it. So this one sounded, I have no need for it right now in my life, but it sounds like something I should do.
Idea generating, I say, because you start and you all of a sudden have this new tool or skill under your belt, and then things kind of come to you too.
I'm afraid of that, actually. So don't tell anyone.
Your book.
It's all in the wraps, that any of us know this, because you will be asked to do things, I think.
True. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Now you'll have people to pass that project on to them too, if we all know how to do it. Lois.
Lois Peterson, I'm from Michigan. I was a teacher there, but I didn't teach there for very long. I went to Alaska and taught there for 25 years. Some of the places that Diane was talking about, and as a teacher, I did newsletters for the school. I did posters about prom or whatever was coming up. So I've done a lot of this type of work. I'm not an artist. I would never take whatever classes, for drawing or anything like that. So that's why I love clip art and things you can import and make creative with a program like this. And I've got experience with PageMaker back in the day and Publisher. I have Office, but they're not supporting that now, and so I felt like unless my interests in helping with marketing different events in town and those types of things that I do with Publisher now, I need to learn a different software. So that's why I'm here. And I know what software can do. This type of software can do, but I don't know what this particular software can do. And so that's why I'm here.
Yeah. It's a fun program. You've used it a little bit so far, and it's probably weird moving from one to the other. So even if you know nothing, don't feel like you need to know anything. Because I am not a techie person. I have to figure it out as I go. And basically now I'm just teaching you what I've learned the hard way, so you don't have to. You have a little bit of coaching, and I'm excited to get active today, or after today too, because, we're talking today and that sort of thing, but it's more exciting to hear about everybody instead of just jumping into the work, I think, because then when do you start a conversation with somebody later, Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
How are you?
Wendy Roberts. And I never use Canva, but I'm working on a genealogy project with my family, and it's pieces of paper here, thumb drives here, it all needs to be consolidated, so that's what I'm using it for.
Awesome. Perfect. I thought, let's see, it's Gladys's book here. So this is one of the books we made in that class. Let's see, where is it? in that writing group class, creative aging, it was a creative aging class, so that just means it had funding attached to it, that's why you get cool extra things. These were actually photographs that Gladys had that had been scanned, and they were just on a printed piece of paper. I couldn't believe how actually decent that is, considering it was a scan. I literally took a picture of the scan off the paper and was able to insert that into this book.
Good quality.
You'd be, actually, like, a lot of what you're looking in that calendar is cell phone photography. So I'll plug that too, because we're gonna offer that class, begins March,
Is this
beginning
kind of
March.
direction?
It's just.
It's just floating.
Just sitting wherever.
What else, Wendy? Tell us about your creative
I
habits.
love sewing and, sewing art, you know. I think of every day as a creative event.
Yeah. That's the nice thing with art, is it's kind of, honestly, once you start drawing or things like the outdoor sketching, it's all of a sudden you see the world with different eyes, because everything is artistic, I think, or how you live your life, you know. Especially those gals in the big cities that are wearing all the funny, funky jewelry and making their own jewelry. There are a couple gals on Instagram that are a lot of fun to watch. One gal who makes a lot of toilet paper roll necklaces. So art is everywhere. That's the funny thing with it. You know, I went to school and they teach us to, if you're a ceramics artist, you like stick to one thing and you stick to a style. That's the opposite of what I want to do as an artist. I like to explore and experiment with stuff. And a while back, you were taking a pattern making class, right? Or like a, what was it, fabric design, something? Oh, I thought you had paid for a program that you were watching this gal.
Oh, that's designed to print your own fabric.
Yeah. And that was a class though.
Well, once again, if you don't keep up with technology, it
Yeah.
passes you by, so that's why, you know, there are companies who will print on demand if you have artistic designs for fabric.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah. That's the thing. I think, what were you using to make your patterns?
well,
Or what was it Illustrator or something like that?
Well, there's several. There's Illustrator, there's Photoshop, Procreate, which is an Apple product.
Procreate, yep. That's a lot on those iPads. You see people making digital art, they're drawing on the pad, that's Procreate. Which is pretty amazing. It's like you have brushes and so much stuff just to do in that program. But I think this will be kind of a good option for what you were doing with fabric design.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
And options are pretty limitless with this program. So, anything else? Okay. Susie, last.
I thought
It's the best for last.
I waited long enough to where I didn't have to.
You gotta get
do this.
Margaret too. You missed Margaret before, so you
Oh, shucks, I went back to him, but, okay, well, so you're the best.
I'm
Best.
Susie
Second
Black.
best.
If you go way back, I was born in Cheyenne, grew up in Lander, moved to Buffalo close to 50 years ago now, so quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
I was bookkeeper probably most of my life, but I've done all kinds of jobs, from waitressing to painting houses to all kinds of whatever you can do to get by. Mostly a bookkeeper. I'm now on the board of the senior center. And Margaret and I were on the recycle board together for a long time ago. So I've tried to be out in the community doing what I can. I love the senior center. It is a really great place. And I have visited other senior centers, and most of the ones I've gone to don't have near what we have to offer here. So that's really good.
The art program is wonderful. I just started watercolor painting and I think it's wonderful and
Again.
but back to it. Just getting back to it and it's fun, I think. And it's a great person to have around to help you with that kind of stuff. And the reason I decided, and the reason why I'm late is because AJ needed me to sign your papers.
Oh, his fault.
So it's all his
She's
fault.
retired, but one of those.
I'm not even really sure why, except it sounds interesting and it'll keep my brain going a little bit longer. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, we started in that.
I have to
Let's do
laugh,
back
I'm
and
sitting here
forth.
thinking, the only person in this room I did not know for sure was Diane.
Oh, yeah.
I kept thinking, where do I know her? Because every last person, I
Trainer.
have a story about you somehow. I mean, I have connections with all of you. I grew up here, multi-generational. I mean, truly, I have a story about every single one of you in some way or another.
Please don't tell mine.
Actually, what's interesting.
Small towns.
Now we're
Your
interested.
bookkeeping, as I recall, goes back to when Mitch was making shoes.
Oh,
Down
yeah.
in the yellow house, it's not even, it's there, but there's nothing. I mean, I know something about virtually every one of you from personal connections, even my neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who watches us walk the dog in the night.
See, that's funny.
But anyway, I have been I almost feel like an employee here. Because
Yeah.
as of May 27th of 2026, we will have been doing the writing group of I should have written that down. So I've been coming over here every day, every Monday, almost every single Monday for nearly 10 years.
Jeez.
Wow.
And
We should have an anniversary
decade.
party.
we are going.
There you go.
We're gonna
But one of the reasons, and if I can get it done, one of my projects would be that we could do an accumulated book for that celebration
Yeah.
with this class.
Oh, yeah.
That is really kind of one of my main goals.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of you I have a connection with, and I sit here and think, oh, I'd like to tell that story about them, about this, you know. But at any rate, I want to keep it
We have
brief.
stories about you.
I'm sure you I mean, they are deep, you know, I have a lot of connections to every person. I mean, even though Steve and I didn't actually get acquainted personally until a couple of years ago, he has been an overseer of projects we've done at the ranch. Steve is my hero. He
Yeah.
walked me through so much in 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on
Or
projects.
Jim? Yeah.
He helped me
Huh.
so much
Good.
with the ranch projects that we were doing, every single one of you. So I was sitting here thinking about Margaret. Her first business, as I recall, was in some little side room of the sports lure
Oh,
back when
No,
she
it was the front. It was.
There was,
that
it was in that little
one-
kind of antique, it was kind of in the
Yeah.
front. She moved to the hotel in the bar, and her partner was Joe Hirschfeld, and so it was Margaret, Joe, and it was very confusing.
that's funny.
So,
This is 92
yeah,
when we moved to the
yeah,
accident.
all women, everybody in the hotel had a woman business. It was
Wow.
So anyway, I have stories about all of you, and
That's the important thing too, because we don't think much of ourselves in our stories, but they're important, and it's like story keeping. It would be fun to do a storytelling class like this that was a little more
yeah,
creative writing, you know?
I would love to have a storytelling, because I think people would do that as more easily than writing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm here to, my goal, and I told her, I said, I have an agenda. I may not pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing, but the
That's
thing
right.
is, I have an agenda. I want to get the book written.
That's how you're gonna learn it, is by doing it.
Something
you
we
know,
could have. the
I'll sit
celebration.
and blab, especially next week, and the week after, you'll probably see me more on the computer. You can bring your computers if you want to, but don't feel like you have to. You don't have to have a computer for this class.
Are you gonna be sending the access to the
Yes.
program to us?
So-
on email then? Okay.
I'm hoping this week sooner rather than later to get everybody, that's why I have your emails there. You'll get a link. I'll just, pass that. You can keep an eye out for your link
Then you put
Uh,
it in the right.
Yeah, Jim got that one, Jake Kelly. If you don't see an email this week, don't panic, because you don't have homework or anything. It's just, we'll try to get everybody situated for next week. Because we're gonna make a team, we'll be on a team and everybody. Basically what that actually means too, like if everybody just decided to help with this project, I would open this project on my end to you, the team member. And the interesting thing with Canva, you can actually see when other people are working on that same page. So it would put their, like my initials are DS. If I was physically looking at this page, you would see me, my initials there, just so you know, which is kind of cool. We could all work on the same project and talk on the phone from our homes if you wanted to. This is the first book I made, and this came out of practicality because when I kind of started on that topic earlier, I was in Sheridan teaching at the library. They printed all my handouts when I went and started teaching here, so they opened that creative aging to, it was just libraries at first, and then nonprofits, and then individual artists. I went to Melinda at the printing shop, and her double-sided copies are $1.05 were. It was gonna cost me a lot of money just to print my handouts. But what I did instead, compile them into this book. Now I actually have, so for a couple of years, I was building these handouts for class, well, that's more of my intro page. Building and compiling these handouts, all the information, like I inserted these pages. For like my first drawing project, handouts, drawing class handouts. It ended up costing me, I bought 50 of these, and it was $8.33, I think, a piece. When I bought quantity and handed them out, I actually saved a whole bunch of money instead of me trying to go print 20 pages back and front. This actually now has 30 some odd pages because I was able to add more content. So in the back, I have some photo reference type things. What was my other thought on that one? It was substantially cheaper to go this route. So if I, with Edie's book, I remember looking at hers, it was $33 a piece, I think. But when you order more, you get a better deal. So that one was a hardcover. It had 100 some odd pages.
No pictures, too much in there.
What's that?
There weren't very many pictures.
Oh, pages, sorry. Pages. What was the other thing? It had 100 some odd pages. It's a hardcover.
Yeah, it was expensive.
We've ordered it since, and she added a couple pages. So that problem with that group, the struggle actually was that I would normally order one and pay the extra cost and then troubleshoot. I overcompensated on that program and had her stuff leaning a little to the outside because I was trying to adjust. If it had been time efficient and all the things with that grant the money has to be spent by a certain date. So when we're books, we got all our books as good finished as we could into June, and then. So ideally, you have a little more time. Order one, wait, you check it out physically because you don't know how colors are gonna print. If things are in the wrong position, like now I know better. I would have scooted her stuff back out to the outside a little bit. So. There's a lot of trial and error. In other words, you might print something and it's better to print one thing and have it not perfect than print 50 of something and pay all that money.
I can't remember on the poetry that we had, that was on my book. I ended up doing an Adobe Reader. I had to put it on a PDF in order to get it for her to do
Oh,
a
yeah.
fast deal, because they needed they needed a 10th person, and I ended up being the 10th person because we dropped. But I can't remember. I wonder, do we have to, at this point, will we have to use PDF to convert it from a Word program to, because I have everything on Word,
Oh, okay.
everything.
I put all mine in directly from Word doc
Oh,
To hers?
to Blurb.
blurb?
Oh,
I didn't
You can do
PDF
anything in
anything.
Canva.
okay, so you could have it unstable and it's still good.
Yeah, I just would put it into text, I
mean,
think if I
this is
remember, I
probably
would just
conflated.
create a text box and then you enlarge it to
Okay.
get everything.
I don't mean to add confusion if you haven't done it, because these kind of questions are technical enough, but it got really confusing when she was talking the language that I did not understand about Canva and PDFs and this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that, and I thought, I don't want to do that, but I was just curious whether in order to do these, whether we have to make a conversion of what we've already got
Yeah.
to something else.
We'll see how it comes in from your other files. And just to clear all that up a little bit, and I'll say real quick, Blurb is another program for making books. I didn't make this one in Blurb. Whole other quick topic. I'll try to keep it kind of quick. If I were in Canva, I can save each one of these pages individually. We've probably all heard the term JPEG. So a JPEG is an image, essentially. If I save this as a JPEG, it's a photograph, as far as they're concerned. If I save this, I have that option to save the same page, even you'll have a project like that's 20 pages, 30 pages scrolling of all the pages individually here. And I'll repeat myself plenty of times in this class, but just so you have it a little bit clear before we get to that point of saving things. If you were to be in Canva and you saved your project as a PDF instead of a JPEG, it won't go onto Facebook because you need, instead of PDF is normally text and sort of, it's just another form of file. So there are instances where you want to save them in a specific format. If you ever want to share your page on Facebook that you made and you're excited about it, save it as a JPEG instead of a PDF. I'll say though, that doesn't matter.
Well, it's just the PDFs, I don't know what that stands for, but it locks it
Yeah.
into place. You can't change what's on that page is locked unless you
Yeah.
have the program that allows you to do modifications.
Yeah.
And the reason that matters is that it protects my formatting. If you write poetry, you have lines that are not necessarily all justified. If you try to write poetry and you've got line changes,
Yeah.
it messes it up when you try and put it into a program that doesn't lock it. And that was the problem that she ran into with some stuff I had, so
Yeah.
and I ended up having to pay for the Adobe Reader to
Okay.
use the PDF file because I couldn't use, there's no free version for it anymore.
That's right.
They
See?
stopped that, so as a
That's
result, I accidentally got out of I had the free version for 7 days and their algorithm went
Oh,
offline, and I still had to pay because I missed my deadline.
yeah.
So anyway, be that as it may, the version that locks something
Yeah.
is when she said you can't put it on Facebook, but it protects your formatting.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
Jim knows a lot more about it than I do, but I can go to you and get help.
What was your question, Anita?
Well, you said with this, we were gonna work in groups and that we could look at each other's work.
Oh, yeah, we'll
So-
just that too.
If, once I learn this, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Is that open format so anybody can go in and look at it?
No. I think you have to physically, even though we're all on a team, I would, if I'm the person who made the original project, I would have to make it accessible for others. And or share a link with you that would give you access to my otherwise private project.
Like you do with Google Docs.
Yeah.
You
So,
have to have the link in order to access.
Yeah.
What resolution do you recommend saving things at?
oh, it does give you an option to go, save it high, so the files get bigger and smaller. And if it's under next week or not, I might just show you where all of that is. And then the following week, we'll work more in class. So again, you can bring your computer, you don't have to. Next week, I think will be easier to just watch what I'm doing. I might put the screen over here. This room is weird. It's like somebody's always gonna have their back to it no matter what we do. I think that's that. Just a reminder, I'll send the link out. Try to, if everything goes as planned on my end, rather than later. And feel free to just go poke around in there if you do get the link and all the things. You can just start looking at it because then it's familiar next week when you see it on my screen. Thanks, everybody.
Mark.
Oh, anybody?
I love your book.
Is this one yours?
No, that's just.
Perfect. Thank you.
Your skills in that. So yeah,
Thank you.
You're doing lunch. It smells so good, I decided to say I had to.